But once again, a huge Lithuanian following here in Dongguan. Such passionate support. They've been here all week, and it really should be quite a fascinating matchup, this one. Australia have brought plenty of fans as well, but they are rather outnumbered by the Lithuanians. By far the two best teams in this group, and as you were saying, Shona, I mean, these two have to be considered contenders for the title.
Yeah, they do. I mean, so far, you know, I know we have a few other games going on this evening, but these two teams right here are second and third in shooting percentage. They are third and second in points per game. I mean, Lithuania's first in rebounds per game, 45.5, 15 offensive. Australia are second in assists. They're leading so many statistical categories in this entire tournament. I'm not just talking about this group. So there's no surprise that these two teams are playing for first place. And like you said, I think we're going to see one, maybe two of these teams in the Final Four.
Well, we can have a look at the Australian starting five, and this tells you just how seriously Coach Lemanis is taking this one, because it's the same starting five that he's gone with for the group phase, so it's full strength, there's no holding back. And what about this man, Joe Ingles? He was so close to a triple-double, the first ever at a World Cup in the last game. He's been magnificent. He has. I mean, he is teetering with a triple-double. There is not a single player in the World Cup ever since they started taking statistics that have got a triple-double. You feel like he is going to get it sometime during this tournament. You'd imagine possibly not this evening, because Lithuania are so strong and they will push Australia all the way. As you mentioned, it is a really tough one to call. They've tweaked their starting five a little bit. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. Shulis has been left out of the starting five, and Butkevicius is the man who comes in, but otherwise it's lots of big names, lots of skill, and we know how deep this Lithuanian roster is. They're all interchangeable. They're so strong.
They really are. I mean, if you look at what the players are averaging throughout this tournament, they have 6 players in double figures. There's no one who really stands out scoring 18, 19, 20-odd points, but they all really contribute and are so strong. And then you saw this man right here. I thought he was one of their best players, and he came in off the bench, and this is what he came in off the bench in the last game, but that's what he's averaging for the tournament. He was just great. And, you know, I've mentioned it every game so far that to win a tournament at this level, you need to have big bench support, and both these teams have that. We can talk about Golding for Australia, how good he has been coming off the bench for them. I mean, every night someone's going to have to step up and, kind of be that surprise performance. We saw Dellavedova in the first game for Australia. Ingles definitely in the second game. Who's it going to be for Australia in this third game?
Well, that's the thing. There's so many for Andre Lemanis to pick from, the likes of Baynes. Jock Landale's an interesting one, of course. He's about to go and play his club basketball in Lithuania. 4 of his future teammates are in this Lithuanian team. They asked Edgaras Ulinovas about that in the press conference, and he gave a diplomatic and sort of playful answer. He said tomorrow or in 2 days he's an opponent, but after that I'm sure we'll be great teammates. So it'll be fascinating to see how he gets on when he goes over to Lithuania, and I'm sure he'll want to take an Australian victory over there just to remind them gently when he becomes a teammate.
Little bragging rights, possibly for Landau and the Boomers, but they got to get past what I think is probably one of the best front courts in the game in this tournament in Sabonis and Valanciunas. They hadn't played a whole lot together before this tournament. I mean, Sabonis, the young up-and-coming Lithuanian basketball player, 3 years in the NBA now, and then Valanciunas. This is his 13th summer that he has participated for his national team. That just shows you the commitment and how much pride he has wearing that jersey.
Yeah, pride, passion, and dedication, very much the characteristics of this Lithuanian team. Not to mention a huge depth of skill and talent. So it is game day 3, the final game in Group H. The 2 best teams of this pool so far. 100% records on the line for both Lithuania and Australia. And the start of the game is going to be so important. An offensive foul called against the Boomers straight from the start.
Both of these teams, very high-scoring teams in this tournament so far. You have Lithuania averaging 96.5 and Australia averaging 94.5, so everyone capable of scoring on these teams.
And Lithuania get themselves off the mark nice and early. Marius Grigonis, who often seems to be the man making the early indentations in the scoreboard. He's got the first points, but Aron Baynes looking to respond here for Australia. Dellavedova puts up a three. And a great battling from Baynes to snatch it away from Valanciunas. Not many people can do that. And Valanciunas gets his revenge by claiming the rebound at the second time of asking. Grigonis goes again and gets another two.
We saw this kind of a start from Grigonis early.
What a start from Grigonis, but what a response from Paddy Mills, another one who we haven't even mentioned, who's been outstanding so far, averaging 18.5 points so far in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Paddy Mills leading this Australian team. He's actually 8th, I think, in this tournament as far as points per game, so that's nothing to snuff at. It's just his teammates have been great also. He's kind of just been that consistent, I would say. You know, you sort of expect that from Paddy Mills.
Grigonis again. Not this time, though. Jock Landale claiming the early rebound. And it is tipped in by Aron Baynes. Great work by Ingles initially. And Australia take a 1-point lead. The records from this group do carry across to the second round, so this game matters. As Kalnietis looks to lay it up, didn't get enough on it. And this is Dellavedova driving inside. He gets it out to Aron Baynes. Ingles just slowing things down here. Gets it out to Dellavedova. Still got a couple of seconds, floats it in. And Matthew Dellavedova up and running. Australia open up a 3-point advantage. 7-point scoring run from the Aussies. There's Valanciunas, hooks it and can't get it to go, and Australia with a little bit of an early edge. Lovely no pass from Mills into Jock Landale. Well, there you go, Lithuania, that's what's coming your way.
Great start by Australia. They just, it seems to me that beautiful run by your big man. I mean, that's what you want your 4-player to do. Do you sense a little different urgency from this Australian team than we saw in the first 2 games? I mean, they won relatively easily at the end of the games, but tonight feels different.
It does. No, I think you're right, and I was going to ask you about that actually. We've seen 2 games in a row where Lithuania have gone 40 minutes both times. They haven't let up. And Australia, we haven't quite seen that. They've had little dips, so maybe there's something different to come tonight. Let's have another look at this. You mentioned the run from Landale, steaming through the middle. Just outstanding from Australia, but you're right, there's real urgency about them tonight.
And you know, you saw Sabonis try and go for that offensive rebound, and a good job by by Australia to pick it up and Landale get out running, because I think he might have a little bit of a foot speed on Sabonis if he can get down the floor first.
Great early pressure from the Aussies. And a 5-point lead early on. And Sabonis looks for a way through. That is a great finish. Well, Ingles clashing with Grigonis, and then Grigonis and Baynes going right at each other.
You know, we saw 80 minutes so far of Lithuania play, and they were so... Here you see that great move by Sabonis again. They were just so locked in for the entire game. And they even look more intense tonight than they did in the first two games. So you can tell both these teams are playing for a lot.
There's Dellavedova. Puts it up himself and makes it. 3-pointer from Matthew Dellavedova. 6-point lead for Australia. We've seen Lithuania make devastating starts in their last two games and really give their opposition no chance to settle. It's the other way round so far tonight, as Valanciunas is unable to make the hook shot. It is the Australians who have made the better start here. Leading 6-1 on rebounds at the moment, the Australians. 4 minutes into the first quarter as Mills puts one up. Valanciunas just beating Landale to the rebound. There's Grigonis. He looks for a way through and can't quite get the layup to drop. Dellavedova gets it out to Ingles. Ingles again, lovely pass out to Baynes, steps back for the three and drains it. Aron Baynes. 5 points for him and a 9-point lead for Australia. Grigonis floats one up and he's got another two. 6 points for him already, 3 from 4 from the field for Grigonis. Pass from Ingles and Baynes is blocked by Valanciunas, out to Mills, who makes the three.
Just a good job by Baynes, kind of staying with it, even though he did get blocked, to be able to get it out to Patty Mills.
Another rebound from Baynes. Australia explosive early on. Ingles steps back, goes for the two. Landale beaten to it by Butkovicius. Kalnietis, the World Cup veteran, missed the 2014 edition. Has been playing at World Cup since 2006 and drains a three-pointer.
Yeah, you talk about experience for both these teams, but...
Oh, Dellavedova at it again. Another three-pointer. Back-to-back threes for him. Just relentless from Australia. 21 points in the first 6 minutes.
I mean, really, there's only one team, and that's Serbia, who scores more points than these two teams. So we kind of expected a high-scoring game. I think 11 points for Serbia. They've missed a couple easy little shots, especially around the basket. So, you know, maybe they didn't really expect Australia to come out shooting like they did.
Well, they won't panic, Lithuania. They will get back to basics, back to what they do best. And already there, cutting the gap by a further two. Goulding finds Dellavedova. Goulding again. Dellavedova poised on the edge of the arc as Goulding puts one up. It's a difficult one.
You know, I talked about the offensive rebounding for Lithuania, who averaged 15 a game, and it's Australia who have come out strong with 3 offensive rebounds, but 0 for Lithuania. And obviously, you know, the coaching staff knew how strong Lithuania was rebounding offensively, so I'm sure that was a big point of emphasis. And I think so far, Australia's done a great job boxing out, getting the rebound, going down on offense.
Here's Dellavedova. And this is Nick Kay. Kay into Goulding. Goulding to Andrew Bogut. Out to Mills. Can't get it to go. The three-point attempt from Paddy Mills. Five from 7 three-point attempts from Australia already. Sabonis. Bounce pass. Sabutis. Sabonis. So much pressure from the Australian defence as Kalnietis lays one up. Hand of experience coming in just to settle things down for Lithuania. There's Kay. Good response from Australia as well. Nick Kay, averaging 8 points a game. Coming into this third game in Group H, the decider in terms of who finishes top and who takes maximum points through to Nanjing in the second phase. France and the Dominican Republic, the 2 opponents. This is Garasulanovas. Sabutis goes for the 2 and gets it. First points for Sabutis as Mills finds Nick Kay wide open. Great play for Paddy Mills. And Kay with the finish to keep Australia ticking along nicely.
I mean, great pass, good find, but I haven't seen a miscommunication from Lithuania's defense in the first 2 games, and for it to already happen in the first quarter, very uncharacteristic of them.
You have to say that that Australian game plan has worked to perfection so far. They'd have been so keen to avoid giving Lithuania a fast start because they've seen the damage they can do. Once Lithuania get in front, they're a very, very difficult team to break down. Ulanovas with the trip to the line, player of the game for Lithuania against Canada a couple of days ago. And Banks in his 2 free throws. Mills with a bounce pass into Kay, and he is blocked by Sabonis. Lithuania trying to step it up a gear here. Mashulis can't get it to go. And just over a minute remaining. Bogut finds Goulding. And Goulding looking for the layup and gets it. The play from Chris Goulding. Lekavicius. Ulanovas. Still Ulanovas twisting and turning. Bogut claims easily.
Again, a good job rebounding for Australia. One and done for Lithuania.
Still waiting for Lithuania's first offensive rebound in the game. Eagles running the clock down here. Long range attempt, no good. A few seconds remaining in the first here. Out to Mashulis, who goes for the three. It would have been a big blow, and that will not count. It was just after the buzzer. Australia doing a good enough job to keep Lithuania out once again. It is an 8-point lead at the end of the first quarter for the Boomers. They will be absolutely thrilled with the start they've made here. They lead Lithuania by 27 points to 19.
I don't need to say, out of time. Okay? Okay? 10 seconds to finish. Alright? Okay? Slow motion. Slow motion. Go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Good decision. Confirm. Conclusive. Out of time.
Yeah, so you saw the refs there making sure that that tip-in was after the buzzer went.
Confirmation of the end of quarter score there, 19-27. Lithuania unable to break into the 20s, but a really good start here from Australia.
There you have it, 42% compared to 52%, but look at that, Oscar, 25% to 63 from three-point range. I mean, Australia just came out firing. They already have 6 players score so far in this game. And how about Matthew Dellavedova? You know, we talked about how he said that he worked on tweaking his shot during the offseason, so this summer before joining Team Australia, he said at the moment it feels good. This was before the tournament started. After the first game, I think he was mentioning that.
Just a reminder that if you want to keep up to date with all of the goings-on at the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019, you can download the official app for free and keep up to date with all the news, all the highlights, and all the action. And there is plenty to keep an eye on. Obviously, medaling at this tournament is what these two teams are desperate to achieve. But there is a significant factor tonight in terms of Olympic qualification. It does depend on another game. It's nothing that Australia can do anything about tonight. But if New Zealand don't beat Greece, then New Zealand won't be going to the second phase. It means Australia will be the top team in the Oceania group, and they will be in Tokyo next summer. Here's Sabutis now for Lithuania. Sabonis able to get onto it and able to put it away as well. A big cheer from the travelling Lithuanian support. And Bogut floats it up. Can't get it to go. Lithuania back to within 6. Sabonis. Sabutis, a little behind the back, bounce pass to Sabonis, and he twists and turns and tries to finish with a hook. He has drawn the foul and he will go to the line.
And really the progression that Sabonis has made in the last few years in the NBA, he is just so strong and fit and skilled for his size. You know, he started his career playing in Spain, and that Andrew Bogut has to go to the bench now with 2 fouls. So Sabonis started his career in Spain, and he didn't accept any money, so he wasn't considered a professional, but he was playing for Unicaja Malaga in the ACB of the Spanish League. And then, you know, he didn't want to receive money with the option of being able to go to the U.S. for school. He gave up a multi-year, over $600,000 contract option to go to the U.S. because, you know, his goal was to play in the NBA, and I think it's worked out for him.
Yeah, he's done all right. So Lithuania back to within 4. They made a positive start to the second quarter. It's Dellavedova. Finds the pass out to Kay. Ingles driving inside. Ingles out to the corner for Aron Baynes to go for the 3. Can't get it to go, and Nick Kay put away what he thought was a rebound. He thought that was a touch.
Dellavedova insisting that it hit the rim as well. That the refs, you know what? They say no. Here, we'll have a quick look. I think they might have got that one wrong.
Yeah, I must admit, in real time, I didn't think it had, but they didn't review that one, and Lithuania have punished Australia, and they've got themselves to within 2. A bit of frustration for Australia, and their lead has been cut significantly here. This is great play. Super finish.
All right, we got referees and keep playing here. We're good, okay? Yeah, exactly. That's what we spoke about. On the ices and the mushes again, like particularly on the ice, try to stay attached. And I know you're getting hit, but then keep trying to chase in, and the boots are trying to be as hard as you can without picking up the stuff off. Offensively, move around a little bit now, all right? If you can't get into some out of pace, this one here, go with a second side cross. All right, start with Baynes and you with the high guy. All right, so we make that, reverse here, and dribble handoff, and then this big Nick Kay's coming in. All right, put Joey down here. Let's go, man. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Dribble. 1, 2, handoff.
So a 2-point game. After that explosive start from Australia, Lithuania have responded exactly the way we would expect them to. They just have this habit of putting runs together almost unnoticed sometimes. You don't realise that they're creeping up or pulling away or whatever it is. They're just so effective. And of course, there's been no panic at all. Here's Ingles. Dellavedova. Great pass. Dellavedova thrown down by Aron Baynes. A big play from Australia at a crucial time. 7 points already for Aron Baynes. Shoeless finds Lekavicius, who puts up the 3. Hay is able to snatch the rebound. Here's Ingles. Ingles is penalised, offensive foul. The push on Lekavicius. Still the 4-point lead for Australia here. 29-25. Grigonis finds Ulanovas. Floats one up and gets it to go. It's a little too easy that for Edgaras Ulanovas. Ingles. He draws the foul this time. Dellavedova. finding his way around and picks out Kay in the corner, who drains the three. Once again, it came from the hands of Dellavedova and finished beautifully by Nick Kay.
And you know what, Dellavedova, I mean, with his shooting touch that he, you know, has developed, they have to hard step out. So you have Baynes rolling hard. People are going to have to come and help off. And Dellavedova just with a great find of Kay in the middle, Kay on the corner there.
Once again, defensively, Australia doing the business. Up by 5 here, Dellavedova looking for the pass to Mills, who was impeded by Lekavicius.
Australia now shooting 60% from behind the three-point range. I mean, typically, you know, in the last 2 games, they were shooting 68.6% from 2, but wow, have they really stepped up from the three-point range in this game so far.
6 3-pointers already. Dellavedova, oh my word! Aron Baynes again, and the assist from Dellavedova was exquisite.
But you know what's a little bit worrying for me is that you see Lithuania getting frustrated at each other defensively. You know, we haven't seen that all tournament.
Grigonis can't quite get it to go. It's Mitch Creek who finds Nick Kay, Paddy Mills. Another foul called. Well, we were impressed with Australia in the first 2 game days, but they have taken it to another level today.
They really have. I mean, we knew both these teams were going to come out gunning for a win because of how important a win today would be. But it's just the intensity level that, you know, we're seeing Australia play with. They played well in the other 2 games, but today they are just, it seems as though they're so much more focused.
3 more for Aron Baynes, who's doing everything. I mean, what a start he's made.
Really, Aron Baynes. He has been their lead. He was their leading scorer, sorry, at the last FIBA World Cup for them. He's played well. He just hasn't had to really score. And I mean, when you have Aron Baynes, who 2 possessions ago came off a back screen and got an alley-oop dunk, and then now he's stepping out because they're so concerned. I'm not sure what you do when that's your center, knocking down threes. So if you take away that, then you're going to open up that dunk that we just, you know, they saw. So then you don't want to get that happen to you.
Well, there's Aron Baynes, who's just made such a big impact already. 12 points, he's hit 2 threes. We've seen a couple of spectacular dunks as well. 5 from 8 from the field, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Just superb performance. His last 2 contributions there. Really given Australia this big lead again. 10 points now. The advantage for the Boomers. There's Lekavicius for Lithuania. It's inside, it's 2. Baynes again. Just waits for the moment to find Landale, and he knocks down a 3. This 3-point shooting from Australia really is something else. 8 from 12 so far. Grigonis, Yankunas, and Lekavicius, and Yankunas, and he can't make the 3, and Mills is away for Australia. Here's Mitch Creek, and Paddy Mills gets it. 2 more. 13-point lead for the Aussies. will Lithuania respond? Lovely fake by Lekavicius, that's superb.
And you know, that's what the point guards of Lithuania have to do. They have to be aggressive because Australia like to ice on on-ball screens. So really, that's what's open, and you need a point guard to be able to score. And I think Lithuania have done a good job trying to hurt Australia there.
Oh, Baynes going for another spectacular. Quietly putting together his own highlight reel. Almost a fumble there from Grigonis, recovered well. Finds a way inside and gets it to go. Delavadova draws the foul. Such smart play again from Delavadova. That's what he's so good at.
Foul number 43.
8 points and 4 assists already for Matthew Delavadova.
Team Australia number 8, Matthew Delavadova, shooting 2. 德拉维多瓦罚球2次。
He can get himself into double digits here if he makes the free throws.
Aron Baynes getting a much-deserved rest. He's already made 2 threes today, and in his combined 11 FIBA Basketball World Cup games, he had only made 1. So I'm sure his three-point shooting has also improved, but a lot of it right now is just determination in my eyes for this Australian team.
Now that's certainly something that Lithuania wouldn't have been planning for, and it's unsettled them a little bit. 11 points the difference now. Kalnietis searching for a way through, finds the pass to Yankunas, and Andrew Bogut is underneath it to claim the rebound. Bogut again. Golding, not this time. There's Kalnietis. Yankunas, looking to hand it off to Valanciunas. I've not really seen too much of him so far, but if he comes to the party, then it's going to be a different story altogether.
Oh, you know what? I think Australia have done a great job defensively and not letting anything easy around the basket happen for Lithuania.
Mitch Creek. Goulding. Oh, what a pass. Landale. Uncontested dunk from Jock Landale. Another one who started with a bang. Australia's double-digit advantage is restored. 2.5 minutes to go. What has been a pulsating first half. Yankunas. Valanciunas was under the ball, rather, couldn't grab the rebound. Mitch Creek puts it up. Landale has done well. Bogut. Goulding to Paddy Mills. Bogut out to Creek. That's pass into Landale for 3 on the buzzer. That is extraordinary from Australia. Taking it down to the wire, and Jock Landale into double figures. Sensational.
Absolutely sensational. And don't forget that offensive rebound was by Landale, and then they did a good job finding him at the end, and he knocked it down.
Now this is certainly worth another look. Outstanding from Landale.
And those are the kind of possessions where, you know, you think you've played decently well on defense. You give up an offensive rebound, but then you find your players, you hustle, you close out, and then they knock down a shot in the last milliseconds. And it's really, that's when you see players lower their head.
Sabonis went up, he did draw the foul, he'll go to the line. Bogut protesting his innocence. Andrew Bogut, we should say, is not the most popular with the Lithuanian fans.
But he does have a good Chinese fan base here.
3 fouls for Bogut. It's potentially problematic for Australia because he is a key man. I don't think there's any doubt really here. Arm on the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I think his off arm, yeah, no foul at all, but you definitely saw.
Maybe his personal foul count, the only real negative so far for Australia. The real positive is that they are in possession of a commanding lead at the moment. Mills. Landale is beaten to it by Mashulis, and here's Kalnietis. Finds a way through using the screen and can't get it to go. Good pass into Baynes. There he goes again, and he's drawn the foul as well. A three-point play possibility for Aron Baynes. Picked out by Ingles. Teammates over to celebrate with him straight away. My goodness, Australia making some statement tonight. They've reached the 50-point mark. There's still over a minute left in the second quarter. There will not be many teams who could do that to Lithuania.
No, you know, we talked about the intensity that Lithuania played at, but I also thought they played their defensive scouting playbook incredibly well in the first 2 games, but
good response.
This Australian offense has just picked apart Lithuania's defense, and I'm not sure you and I ever thought we would say that in this game.
The Boomers showing their quality. This is a roster that has been building for some time. There's so much experience. It's one of the oldest at the tournament in terms of average age. As Sebutis looks to lay it up and gets it, much to the delight of the Lithuanians inside the Dongguan Basketball Center. They are closing the gap, but they are still some way behind, and we are approaching half-time. What has been a really special game so far. Ingles. Landale wasn't able to get his shot away. Timing slightly off there from Australia for the first time in this game.
Considering how many offensive possessions Australia have had, and for that to be probably their only bad offensive possession at the end of 20 minutes, that's not so bad.
Lekavicius on the buzzer, not good enough from him. And for Lithuania, there is a bit of work to do. Haven't said that yet at this tournament, but Australia's start has been so impressive and so powerful and effective. And they have an 11-point lead at the halfway stage. Lithuania trailing 41-52 at half-time.
And there you have it. 64% compared to just 13% from the three-point range. 57% overall compared to 47%. Turnovers again for Australia has always been a little bit of an issue in the first 2 games. Points off of turnovers, 8. Second chance points, 6 compared to 0. I really think that's something that we need to highlight. This Australian team have done an excellent job rebounding. Aron Baynes with 15 points, Della Vedova with 10, and Jock Landale with 10 already, and then 8, 8, and 7 for Lithuania. You have 3 players already in double figures. They've scored 52 points. They have 16 assists on those 52 points, which means they're sharing the ball incredibly well. But really, for me, they held the best rebounding team in this tournament to only 11 total rebounds. That's incredible. That was obviously a point of emphasis. Every time down the court, I feel like Australia's defense has been absolutely stellar. They are taking away everything that Lithuania wants to do on offense. They are forcing Lithuania into difficult shots. Yeah, of course, Lithuania have hit some shots, but that's normal. They're a very, very good team. And then on the other side for Australia, you know, I thought they maybe played the best quarter of basketball in that fourth quarter against Canada in the first game. This is the best 20 minutes of basketball I have seen in this tournament so far. They are absolutely stellar. I mean, they're scoring from inside, from outside, 64% from three. I mean, you can't really, what can you do when a team is shooting the ball that well?
Well, time will tell whether they can keep up that kind of pressure and really bully this Lithuanian outfit. Not many teams do that in modern-day basketball at international level, but it is Australia who lead at the halfway stage. 52-41. We'll be back in a few minutes with the second half.
Let's give a big round of applause for the Yinji Clear cheerleaders.
你能从一片空白里看到可能吗？有些人要看到证据，等有人做到了，才敢出手。但那些第一个行动的人，他们等过吗？ 他们直接出手，不管有没有人做到过。你能从一片空白里看到可能吗？
在这条路上，我们始终同行，就算起点不同，终点总是一样。
没有看不见的路，只有不敢冲破的障碍。
越是狭窄的路，越要勇敢迈步。
再难的上坡路，也要逆风并肩而上。
路不是一个人走。
中国人寿伴您前行，为您提供专业全面的综合金融服务与保障。
关键一投决定未来，要投就投中国人寿。
看FIBA全世界杯6PCL大屏，极速朗动，锁住心声。 更健康，愉悦柔风。 特选全家倡议 ，TCL 2019FIBA篮球世界杯全球合作伙伴。
Yao Foundation is a non-profit organization founded by Yao Ming in 2008. It's dedicated to aid underprivileged rural children in China and help them develop in various ways. As the official NPO partner of the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup, Yao Foundation launched the Dream Journey Project to let rural children take part of the joy of this top basketball event.
姚基金是由姚明于2008年发起，为着以体育人的重视，致力于助学习教，促进青少年健康成长的公益组织。作为2019国际篮联世界杯官方公益合作伙伴，姚基金发起圆梦之旅项目，让乡村孩子共享丙级篮球盛会的喜悦。
points right here for Lennon. Oh, foul! With a 360 turn and then a slam dunk.
Paczynski, bounce pass. What a play by Poland. Again, Coach Taylor has to be pleased with the off-ball movement. People don't stand around on this team.
Gasol with a massive three. Surely the dagger in the game. Touch pass and Mesri throws it down, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Man, they just did the same thing Puerto Rico did to them.
Six on the shot clock. Here comes Brown. Brown, step back for three. Oh! Can you believe it? What a three from Brown! And with 5 seconds to go, Puerto Rico take the lead.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
Welcome back to Dongguan. Second half just a few minutes away here in what is the group decider in Group H. Lithuania 41, Australia 52. It has been a pulsating clash so far, and Australia have just come out firing and really impressed in the opening 20 minutes. Shona, it's been pretty special watching this Australian team in particular in the first half. Do you think they can keep this going for another 20 minutes?
You know what, Oscar, you said it at halftime. You go, I feel like Australia were only playing at 50% in the first 2 games. And you're absolutely right. They are just so focused and intense. I mean, offensively, I'm not sure if they can keep shooting at that kind of a percentage, especially from 3-point range, but they're also attacking the basket. Don't forget, they're getting inside. They've had a few lobs. They've had fast break points. There's not a lot that you can really say about Australia that isn't good things, because that's how well they are playing right now. You know, the thing that's most worrying for me with this Lithuanian team is they're getting frustrated, and you can see that. You can see them looking at each other, kind of blaming each other, especially defensively, because it's true, they've been picking up, Australia has been able to pick apart Lithuania defensively, and the frustration and the kind of blaming people is worrisome if you're a Lithuanian basketball fan. This is the first time ever, Lithuania has conceded 50 points or more in 39 of the games that they have played in a FIBA Basketball World Cup. So that's not a great sign. Do I think that they're probably going to do better in the second half? Absolutely. Do I think that Australia will be able to, at least from three, continue to shoot the lights out? I'm not sure. It'll be a tough order, but this team right now looks like a team that easily can medal.
Yeah, you mentioned that three-point shooting, so 64%. It's 9 from 14 for Australia. Incredible. Lithuania 1 from 8, so theirs is going to improve as well. They're not going to shoot at that percentage from distance, you know, for the rest of this game. That will get better, and maybe, as you said, maybe not, but maybe that will come down a little bit from Australia. It might just be a little bit of a leveler.
Well, and you know, Lithuania, they have 0 turnovers, so it's not as though that they're turning the ball over. They're not making shots like they have in the first 2 games of this tournament. They're still shooting the ball really well, especially from 2, 57%. You can't complain about that, but they have been shooting a little bit higher overall, and really it's a three-point shooting, 13% for Lithuania. But the second thing that I'm looking at when you look at the stats, 1 offensive rebound. This is a team that's used to pulling down 15 offensive rebounds a game. So when you don't make your shots, what do? You have to go offensive rebound. And it's not that they haven't tried. It's that Australia are playing great defense and they're in perfect position to box out. And then they're going and boxing out aggressively, and they're the ones who are coming up with it because they want it more than the Lithuanians right now. And, you know, obviously that was something that was talked about, and they were going to make sure that they did. And they have done it excellently so far in this game.
You mentioned the rebounds. Lithuania were leading the way at the end of the second round of games in terms of rebounding. 45.5 the average over the 2 days, which is ridiculous. Yes. But 11 in total in that first half, and that just tells you how well Australia have done and how well they've competed.
Absolutely. So, you know, I'm sure there was I would say a strong talking to in the locker room for the Lithuanians. There's 20 minutes left. By no means is this game over. We saw Australia come out against Canada when they had a 12-point lead, and they looked a little bit relaxed. But they also looked relaxed the entire game in the first 2 games. So this is a different team. If they can keep up that kind of intensity and that kind of a defensive effort, I think Australia is going to be fine.
Apart from the intensity that we've seen then from Australia in this first half so far, do you think there's anything else about the way they've played that surprised Lithuania a little bit? Anything tactically that you've noticed that's immediately obvious that maybe Lithuania weren't prepared for?
I think the fact that Australia is shooting the ball so well offensively from 3 maybe threw off Lithuania a little bit defensively. I don't think they expected that kind of a strong start. We knew it. Everyone knew Australia can score. I mean, you know, that they're averaging the second most in this tournament. So there's no surprise there. But primarily, a lot of their points were coming from inside the key, 2-point range. But really, tonight, it's just been a rainstorm of threes for this Australian team. Defensively, I think it's the intensity that I haven't seen Australia play with this kind of intensity on defense, and I think it's really frustrating Lithuania, and they're not getting what they want to get and what they want to go to.
So, second half in Dongguan, 11 points Lithuania need to make up the difference against Australia, 52-41. The Boomers head into the second half with that 11-point advantage and looking to pick things up where they left off. An early foul is called against Australia. Aron Baynes penalised. It's travelling, actually, I think that was called there.
And good job. And you know what? That's new defensive tactic. They decided that they were going to double Aron Baynes if he caught the ball in the low block, and we didn't see them do that in the first half. So I think they're trying to say Aron Baynes is going to have to come out because he might have a... What?
Andrew Bogut is on in place of Aron Baynes. Aron Baynes particularly unhappy about that decision. So Lithuania looking for a bright start here in this second half. Sabonis, superb again from Sabonis, yet again showing his quality and his strength.
Such a strong move and finish there by Sabonis. I mean, that was pretty decent defense by Landa.
Dellavedova. Driving inside, floats one up, can't get it to go. Australia so far unable to start with quite the same fluidity that they had in the first half. Mashulis puts one up, can't get it to go, but Australia come away with it. Ingles into Mills, and Mills has drawn the foul from Kalnietis. Second foul for Kalnietis. Have another look at this from Sabonis. It's just so impressive. His strength is remarkable, as you say, for someone so young. Nine-point game as it stands. Australia yet to add to the scoreboard in this third quarter. Dellavedova under pressure does find Baynes, who's back in the game, and Landale goes for the shot, can't make it. Sabonis and Grigonis drains the three. Here come Lithuania. Big statement early on in this third quarter. That is what they're capable of. And Grigonis delivers.
And really, that all started with defense. I think they've done a much better job defensively. You know, you can tell that they've switched it up too, because every on-ball they're switching now as well, where they weren't switching in the first half, and they're also doubling the low pass when it goes in. So they have made a couple adjustments here defensively at the beginning of this half.
And then come off that again if they switch it. Go ahead and make sure we're rolling hard out of that. Okay? What we can't do is let this end affect that end. We've got to keep chasing, and we've got to keep chasing over on hot guys, all that sort of stuff, and staying together, keep talking to one another. On that play, it's at the outside. Sabonis is the only one that can get me. I'm on the rim, we're fucking moving. Exactly. All right. Pressure up. Here we go. Hey, this one. Come down and run flex. And get those two cutters, right? The first cutter go, the second cutter come behind it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Who's first? We're not starting flexing.
Have another look at Sabonis tussling with Landale, then providing the assist for Grigonis. 5 points early in this third quarter. Moves Lithuania to within 6 of their opponents. Australia yet to trouble the scoreboard in this third quarter. And we're always going to get some kind of response from Lithuania after half-time. So far it's been a good one. Here's Mills. Into the corner for Ingles. Up against Butkevicius. Gets the pass out to Baynes. And it's a three from Aron Baynes. That long-range shooting, it's just a brand new speciality of his.
It is, and you know what? Another assist for Joe Ingles. He is leading this tournament in assists, so, I mean, this is your three-player.
Offensive foul called there. Butkevicius penalised. First personal foul for him. How about this from Aron Baynes? Yet another three-pointer. 18 points in the game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists as well. Dellavedova to Ingles. Joe Ingles hands it off to Mills. And Mills draws the foul.
So were they saying that Joe Ingles was out of bounds before the pass to Patty Mills, which I thought was going to be a foul?
Sabonis. Schulis ducks under Landale. He did everything right but couldn't finish. Dellavedova. Aron Baynes. Ingles. Ingles lays it up, can't get it to go. Away comes Bukovicius here for Lithuania. Kalnietis. Bukovicius once more, the bounce pass into Sabonis. This is where he's done so much damage already. Using his strength up against Aron Baynes. He's just unstoppable.
He really is. He's so talented, and everyone knows for the most part he's going to go left. But he's still able to beat his defender left to the basket.
Dellavedova gets a shot away. Uncharacteristic miss from him. Here come Lithuania. Grigonis out to Kalnietis. And he can't make it, and Dellavedova, what a pass to Mills! What a play from Australia. Outstanding vision there from Matthew Dellavedova. The speed of his reactions here. Just knew exactly where Patty Mills was. Patty Mills doesn't miss those. 10 points for him. Schulis, he puts up the three, drains it. Lithuania staying in touch here. 6-point gap. A little over 5 minutes left in the third, long way to go. Dellavedova. Dellavedova still. And in it goes. Bogut, I think, got a little touch to that one. First points of the game for him. Schulis. Schulis. Good defense again from the Aussies.
Again, just their defensive rebounding from Australia, I think, has been absolutely superb so far.
Bogut into Landale. Looking for the foul, nothing given. Valanciunas has been recalled here. There was a little tip in from Andrew Bogut a few moments ago for Australia, who lead by 8. Sebutis, Valanciunas, Kalnietis. Still Kalnietis. Oh, follow from Valanciunas.
Well, really, we haven't seen a lot of Valanciunas in this game. He's only played about 11 minutes, so I'm not sure if that's strategic.
And here's Patty Mills. Steps inside the arc, goes for the 2 and doesn't miss. His shooting's been excellent again, averaging 18.5 points coming into this game. He's already got another 12 on the board. Australia ticking along nicely in this third quarter. It's Chris Goulding with the foul.
Lithuania 4.
Kalnietis finds Valanciunas. Kalnietis again. Grigonis can't get it to go. Ingles once more with the rebound, and here is Mills. Oh, that is sublime from Paddy Mills, the reverse layup. Gets the Aussie fans on their feet. The 10-point lead is restored. And let's have another look at this from Paddy Mills.
And just a good job by Paddy Mills, trusting that his other teammates are going to pull down that rebound, because they have been pulling down the defensive rebounds all game. And he's able to kind of run out and beat the defense down the court. And then again, another assist by Joe Ingles, who you know he's going to find the open person.
Kad jie pataiko, ten kažkas, kur rizikuoja. Bet mes su šitokiais taškais negalim. Dabar Remo, įeina, meta metimą. Trečias, pirmas, eikit sprinto gal. Čaloškis. Pirma. Sakai šonė. 4. Kalnas per handopą. Pasižiūrėkit, ne, Čeivy. Įeikit tai. Jeigu pasą čia, pasižiūrėkit Čeivy per 10 tašką. Taip. Vietoj Jonsen. Pusė Jonsen.
Well, Paddy Mills at it again. 14 points. He's been a free scorer in this tournament so far. This may be his moment of the game so far, but there's plenty to pick from. Played a really big part in that big game against the US in preparation for this tournament. It's turned over. Goulding didn't even know that ball was right behind him, picked it up. Ingles to Bogut. Bogut back to Ingles. Oh, what a pass from Ingles, what an assist. And Bogut does the rest. 12-point lead for Australia. Sabutis. And then tipped in. Kalnietis on hand. Experienced captain.
And only their 3rd offensive rebound for a team that's used to 15 offensive rebounds in this tournament.
Great claim there, and another well-executed layup there from Nick Kay. Restores the 12-point advantage. Kuzminskas is involved now for the first time in the game for Lithuania. Another excellent performance from that man in your picture at the moment, Kalnietis. One of several leaders in this Lithuanian team. They do have a lot of work to do. It's Valanciunas. Goulding penalised. Third foul for Chris Goulding. Joins Bogut on 3. Sabutis. And Valanciunas unable to hold it.
And again, you kind of just see the frustration, especially in Valanciunas' face there. you know, it was nothing that Bogut did. It just kind of went through his hands.
Ingles. Dellavedova. Ingles has drawn the foul. Ingles. He goes for the three. And Joe Ingles yet to get off the mark in this game.
I mean, really, Australia haven't needed him to score. He's been facilitating his teammates perfectly, and that's what they've needed.
There's Valanciunas battling with Bogut and drawing the foul. And big cheer as Bogut has now moved on to 4. It's also a chance for Jonas Valanciunas to get to the line, take a couple of free throws and try and cut the deficit here. Still a 12-point lead for Australia. It's been a lower scoring third quarter compared to the first half. Valanciunas delivers. A little more than a minute left in the third quarter, 10-point game. And that pass from Ingles just bouncing off the arm of Aron Baynes. It's an unfortunate one. Valanciunas. Savitis. To Lekavicius. Valanciunas, so again up against Baynes. Can't get it to go. Oh, good block by Baynes. The Lithuanian bench weren't happy about it. Here's Ingles. Finds a way through. Gets the pass out to Goulding and just stepped out of bounds.
You know, right here, I think it's really important for Lithuania to get a score, and then go down and get a stop leading into this fourth quarter if they want to give themselves a chance to win. I mean, just the way that Australia have been playing defense today. They always say defense wins championships, and that's what you are seeing Australia put on in tonight's game.
And that was the one thing maybe that we questioned over the last couple of days, wasn't it, as well? As Kuzminskas goes for it and gets it. That is a huge three-pointer for Lithuania.
But now they need to get a stop. They have, you know, 13 seconds to get a stop.
How will Australia use up these dying seconds in the third? Valanciunas penalised, foul.
Not a bad foul idea. It's not bonus, so you want to just kind of take away their momentum.
Six and a half seconds. Australia moved it quickly. Lithuania didn't seem quite prepared. And the call has gone Australia's way.
Lithuania there didn't even know that the ball was put in bounds.
I think they felt they called a timeout. And Dana Sadamaitis has Clearly frustrated by that decision. The foul has been confirmed. It is going to be a couple of shots from the line for Aron Baynes. Makes the second. Lekavicius just launching one. Barely any time to do that either. Lithuania have cut the gap a little bit in this third quarter. Frustrated Baynes Adomaitis. And it is a Lithuanian side who do trail with 10 minutes to go. Australia 60. Well, Lithuania 60, Australia 68.
Field goal percentages cooled off a little bit for Australia from the three-point line, but they're still shooting 53%. You know, Lithuania, I feel, have just struggled with the intensity of the Boomers' defense. I mean, they're not getting anything easy. Yeah, they knocked down, they only had 1-3 in the first. They did knock down 3 in that quarter, so that's definitely a positive for them. But their two-point percentage went down a little bit, and this is typically a team that scores very well from the inside. We have in that quarter, we didn't see a lot of Valanciunas, we didn't see a lot of Sabonis. I mean, they're just, I guess it shows really how good this Australian team is and how good they are defensively, where, you know, they played okay in the first 2 games, but I would say the big difference is the intensity and how they're able to take away what Lithuania wants to do. And keep in mind, Lithuania is a very good offensive team, so it just shows you how good their defense has been.
Yeah, I certainly think it's more of a case of Australia performing well rather than Lithuania underperforming.
Yeah,
they're maybe not quite at the level they have been, but that's been forced on them by the Australians. They've frustrated them. They've looked to get every little advantage. All those little clever tricks that you know, all good basketball teams can produce. They've used every single one, and they've just been so consistent and so intense. That's the key word, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely, and you know, I'm not saying we questioned their intensity before, because they definitely wanted to win their games, but they're just on a different level today. You know, it just shows you how badly that they want to win this. They came here to this tournament, to the 2019 FIBA World Cup, with the idea of medaling, and they think that they can do that. And right now, they look like a team that can definitely medal.
When you consider the ages of the players as well, you know, for a lot of them, this might be their last chance at a World Cup. So, you know, they've been building towards this for a long time, and they are not going to let this chance slip away. And just to bring you up to date with that game between Greece and New Zealand. New Zealand are currently trailing in that one. They're only halfway through, down by 7 as it stands. If that is replicated in the second half, then Australia will be at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, because New Zealand will go into the classification phase, and Australia will be the only team from Oceania making an appearance in the last 16 as Baynes misses the 3. And Lekavicius here, lovely pass to Ulanovas, looking to draw the foul. Kuzminskas did brilliantly there to claim the rebound. He's trying to wrestle himself away from 3 Australian players. There's Grigonis. And Tunis unable to hold it. As you mentioned, Shona, those big players are going to have to step up for Lithuania in these closing minutes if they're to turn this around. What a pass from Delavadova that was to Kay, but it's turned over, and now Lekavicius on his way, looking to go all the way, and one. Draws the foul, it gets the Lithuanian fans going again.
And you know, that's what Lithuania needs, but it's really, they've had pretty good looks, but defensively I think they've done a much better job, and they're getting out and running, and maybe they'll be able to tire out the Australians a little bit.
So can Lekavicius make this count? He certainly does. 5-point game now. Dellavedova. Foul's been called. Lekavicius with his third foul of the game. Dellavedova, Baynes, Dellavedova for three, it's no good. Valanciunas underneath it. And if he can bring some dominance in these closing stages, will give the Australians plenty to think about. Grigonis couldn't get it to go. And will be Lithuania's ball. Villanovas. Grigonis makes it. Well, that gap is closing, and it's closing fast in this fourth quarter. 3-point game. Timeout's been called, and it's Lithuania now down by just 3, 65-68. You sense a big challenge coming here for the Aussies.
Ironically, I mean, I know there's still 8 minutes left, but Valanciunas only has 6 points today, where he has been a leader of this Lithuanian team, especially scoring-wise. The last time he failed to score at least 10 points in a FIBA Basketball World Cup prior to today so far, which has been 11 games, was back against Australia in 2014, where he only had 4 points. So clearly whatever Australia does defensively against Jonas Valanciunas has been affecting him offensively.
Joe Ingles once again at the heart of everything. 7 assists and 4 rebounds. Good all-round contribution from him. Still a real surprise to see that he hasn't put any points on the board, but it's, as you said, he's been the facilitator.
Yeah, he has, and really with the way that his teammates have been shooting, try and get them the ball. I mean, he is such an unselfish basketball player that I'm not surprised he doesn't have any points so far.
Mills. Just a little bit of nerves from the Aussies, and you heard the cheer go up there from the Lithuanian fans. They can sense that their team are waiting to pounce.
Really, that was kind of the first offense for Australia where they weren't really in sync with each other.
Grigonis has drawn the foul. Another trip to the line for Marius Grigonis. Ingles back on court for Australia. Grigonis from the line. 2 free throws coming to make this a 1-point game. Two from 2, Grigonis, 15 points in the game, leading the way for Lithuania. Mills. Going to go it alone, floats it over Valanciunas but can't get it to go, and another big cheer as the big man snatches the rebound. Kavicius makes it, and would you believe this? 1 point lead for Lithuania. 9 points with no reply in the fourth quarter.
I think this is the first time Lithuania has led in this game, and there's 7 minutes left. Do you feel the momentum changing, or is this just what we expected?
Landale. It won't go. There's Valanciunas again. Mitch Creek. He's done really well.
Valanciunas is going to pick up his second foul there. Good job by Mitch Creek. He kind of goes a little bit unnoticed because he doesn't play long stretches for this Australian team. But throughout this tournament, so 2 previous games, I thought he's come in and done really, really good things. Maybe little and things that don't necessarily show up on his stat sheet, but you can see why he is one of those Australian players who does get some playing time.
Mills for 3, no good. Valanciunas with the rebound. He's just starting to have a little bit of an influence, starting to dominate the boards. Grigonis lays it up and in. And now there's optimism, now there's belief inside this arena as Lithuania open up a 3-point advantage. Here's Mills, floats it up, and it doesn't go. And there's Valanciunas with the simple rebound this time.
And again, I said at halftime, I don't know if Australia is going to be able to keep shooting as well as they had in that first 20 minutes.
They need to put it right quickly because Lithuania can be so devastating, but that will not count. Offensive foul called against Kuzminskas. Have another look here. Kuzminskas frustrated by the call. Lithuanian fans thought they got themselves a 5-point lead. Full court press here from the Lithuanians. They're looking to turn the screw. 11 points with no reply in this fourth quarter. Australia need some points on the board, and they need them soon. Here's Landale against Valanciunas, and he loses that duel. And away come Lithuania. Lekavicius. And it's good work defensively once again from Australia. They need to start putting some points on the board. Dellavedova could be the man to do it. Throws it up for Bogut. And he is penalised, and Bogut is out of the game. 5 fouls for Andrew Bogut. And that is a big, big blow to Australia with still over 5 minutes left.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, now Andrew Bogut has to go to the bench, and I thought he's done really well for them, especially defensively. But the thing is, you get to sub in Aron Baynes, who's been absolutely spectacular. It's just, does he have enough left in the tank to give them 5 more minutes in this fourth quarter?
Lekavicius. Suddenly there's a new energy about Lithuania. Valanciunas underneath it, good work from Baynes. It's a terrific head-to-head there, Valanciunas and Baynes. As Ingles draws the foul. No change being made here by Lithuania. Sabonis in for Valanciunas.
And we haven't seen Sabonis in a while either for Lithuania, so this might be a nice little piece of energy for them.
Foul called once again. Sabutis this time, his second foul of the game.
But more importantly, that's Australia going to the free throw line on every foul call now because they're in bonus. And, you know, both these teams are good free throw shooting teams. Australia only shooting 4 of 5 today, but that's 80%. So that's something to think about. I mean, but the next foul on Australia is also going to put Lithuania to the free throw line as well.
Could be seeing a bit of a free throw shootout in the final few minutes here. Who can hold their nerve in the closing stages and snatch this vital victory. Mills looking to make it a one-point game again. And he does make it 2 from 2. Dragonis, Sabutis. Sabonis and Sabutis. Gets the 2, knocks it down with ease. Still only 2 points on the board from Australia in this fourth quarter. Just those 2 free throws from Paddy Mills. Dellavedova finds Creek, but foul had already been called.
And, you know, I talked about in the third quarter how Lithuania definitely made some defensive changing schemes. And they've stuck with it. And I think for the most part, even in the third quarter, in this first 5 minutes of this quarter, it has stopped that momentum and the easy flowing points that Australia were able to get in the first half of this game.
Creek makes the first. Andrew Bogut, who won't be playing any further part in the closing stages here. They're going to have to manage without him. Good work from the line by Mitch Creek. 1-point game again. Dragonis, Sabonis. Dragonis on small, bounce pass. Kuzminskas draws the foul.
What a great pass and back cut by Kuzminskas, though. I mean, we have the advantage of looking at the slow-mo replay, and yeah, to me, that looked like a foul on Aron Baynes.
Well, the later it gets in this fourth quarter, the more pressure will be on these free throws. Saw some free throw pressure the other night from Turkey against the USA. That was extraordinary.
That was.
And there we go, Kuzminskas has missed them both.
I mean, these athletes, I know they're playing at an incredibly high level, but they are still human, and they do feel the effects of pressure.
Dellavedova. Turned over. Lithuania might not be made to pay for those missed free throws. Dragonis. Baynes tussling with Sabonis there. Away comes Ingles. Joe Ingles gets a pass to Baynes, who makes it. And it's Australia now in front with 3.5 minutes to go.
And ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed Aron Baynes' first at least 20-10 game at a FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Big performance from Aron Baynes.
He has been absolutely spectacular for them. I mean, inside and out. You knew he could shoot threes. He's been shooting threes his entire career. I didn't think that he was capable of doing what he did today, especially in that first half.
3 from 5 is.
But again, he had to come in when Andrew Bogut fouled out. Maybe he would have had a little bit more rest on the bench. is he going to be able to play at a completely high level for the rest, 3 minutes and 10 seconds?
Grigonis can't get it to go, but Ulanovas is there to tidy it up. The lead changes hands again. Lithuania lead by 1, and it's another foul on Mills, and another trip to the line for Australia.
And good job by Australia getting the ball out fast, inbounded, and looking down the court. I mean, to me, you really can't have that happen. You can't let Australia fast break basket after a made basket.
Pressure on Patty Mills.
Patty Mills, an excellent free throw shooter, shooting 92% in this tournament so far. He was 9-9 in that first game against Canada from the free throw line.
And he was staring straight at the biggest section of Lithuanian fans as well.
Here today, he's 100% from the stripe. Not someone you want to put on the line if you're Lithuania, that's for sure.
Never in doubt with Patty Mills, 2 from 2, 18 points. There's Grigonis. Lithuania unable to make the most of that. This could go right down to the wire. Just the point separating the two teams with a little more than 2.5 minutes remaining.
If it comes down to free throws, neither team shot a lot of free throws so far in this game. Lithuania are 11 of 13, 85%. Australia 10 of 11, 91%. Australia shooting almost 79% from the free throw line in this tournament, which is an excellent free throw shooting percentage. And Lithuania shooting 81%. So they're both pretty decent free throw shooters.
Here's Ingles. Baynes. And Ingles again. Ingles goes for the 3. Won't drop for him. Kalnietis. Valanciunas.
I think that's a pretty good job by Valanciunas. And you know what I like is that at Lithuania, they still know who Valanciunas is, obviously, but they don't hesitate to go to him, even though he hasn't had, I would say, the best offensive night. I think he's done a good job rebounding. I think he's done a good job defensively for the most part, but really offensively, you haven't felt his presence like you're used to expecting when he puts on the Lithuanian jersey.
He's certainly capable of delivering in these pressure situations, though. He's tied the game. He makes the second. Lithuania edge back in front. So we head for a tense and tight finish here in Dongguan. It's missed. Baynes and Delavadova tidy it up for Australia. And this is what all the neutrals will have wanted to see. 2 minutes to go, tied game. Who's going to come out on top? Mills makes it. Patty Mills again.
What a shot from Patty Mills. And you know what? That was pretty decent defense, but he is just so skilled.
20-point game for him. Narrow 2-point lead for Australia. Mills. Valanciunas did just enough to recover. The shot got away in time. Sabonis with the rebound, doesn't make it. And away come Australia with Ingles. How big could that be? Mills for three, no good. And then there's a foul, and it will be a trip to the line anyway for Australia. Mills almost delivered what could have been a really devastating blow. They could still open up a 4-point lead here. Shake of the head from Sabonis.
But I mean, just a great job by Nick Kay to offensive rebound, and he wasn't going to come up with it, but he put Sabonis in a situation where he fouled. Nick Kay, not a lot of free throw attempts in this tournament, only 2 a game, but he is 100%.
Big pressure. Gets the first one. 3-point lead for Australia. Makes a second, it's a little bit of breathing space. But still a long way to go. Well over a minute left. Surprisingly, a timeout called. Lithuania have 66 seconds to turn this 4-point deficit around. It's 76-80.
Still a lot of time left for Lithuania. I mean, they're only down 4.
Tuo pačiu metu Gregai pakėlė, Toma eini čia. Tuo pačiu metu, kada eina pasas žaidė. Žaidė su kamuoliu. Ūlė, eini ant handopo ir agresyviai atakuoji. Tomai, statai užtvarą. Gregas sprintui kornerį. Tu slėpini čia. Žaidė davini čia. Ūlė priima sprendimą. Agresyviai, davai.
Not the biggest challenge that Lithuania have faced in this tournament so far. 66 seconds is a long, long time.
It's very, very long time. You know, there's no need to foul if you're Lithuania. I think you need to get a good shot. Hopefully they make a shot. There's no point. You're going to go for an open look. No need to try and go for a 3. There you see Aron Baynes, double-double, 21 points and 10 rebounds. Sorry, 13 rebounds.
Somehow Valanciunas managed to hold on to that, keep his position. Lithuania almost gifting possession away to Australia, but that is a great response, and Lekavicius just made that look effortless.
Yeah, he did, and a good job, you know. They didn't take too much time off the clock there to get a score. Now they need to get a stop, though. You know that they're going to get the ball back, but this man right here with the ball, Patty Mills, has been clutch for Australia all game.
Into the final 40 seconds, step back for Mills, for 3, it's good! Patty Mills may well have just delivered the killer blow for the Boomers. Australia up by 5 and just over 30 seconds to go. Well, you said it, Shona. He is the man for the big moment.
And that was actually very good defense by Valanciunas. I mean, he almost got a hand on that ball, but Patty Mills has been absolutely clutch for them here today, especially in this fourth quarter. We've typically, you know, those who follow Boomer basketball and have watched Patty Mills, he's a lot more of a, you know, game time, late fourth quarter type player, but he's proving why he's one of the best, especially for this Boomer team.
Čia vyksta tai užtvara. Taip, mes ir iš karto uždarom duris gilindus. Atakuojam lentą visi. Taip, trečias yra Tomašas. Autana.
Well, these two teams have produced thrilling basketball over the last few days. They really have laid a marker down, made their intentions clear for this tournament, but this would be a little bit of a setback for Lithuania in their pursuit of a medal. Australia looking to make it 3 from 3 in this first phase. Lithuania going to have to come up with something big here in the final 30 seconds. There's Lekavicius into Grigonis, who lays it up and in, just gets points on the board, but Australia look to respond quickly. Here is Joe Ingles, and his bounce pass to Creek, who draws the foul from Sabonis, and it'll be another trip to the foul line.
And you know what? How calm were Australia there on that? Okay, Grigonis scored. They got the ball in very fast, out of bounds. They ran down. I mean, clearly they talked about that. Hey, you know what? If they score, no worries. We're still going to be up 2 or 3, depending. Get the ball in quickly. Let's get down the court. And sure enough, in here, refs are going to go take a review and see if this is an unsportsmanlike foul.
Well, we shall have a look. We'll be able to listen in as well to what the referees are saying with this instant review system.
Okay, I think it's a UF, okay? C1? Yeah, C1. Look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's C1. I changed how to do C1.
Yeah, change it. Conclusive. Upgrade.
Shooter.
C1, okay?
Number 55 is the shooter. Okay?
Yeah, 55 is shooter.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There you go. Unsportsmanlike foul, that is the call. Just no real attempt from Sabonis to get any of the ball. He just put his arms around Mitch Creek.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the call right there, you know, an unsportsmanlike. You have to make a play on the ball, or it's an unsportsmanlike foul.
And that might just finish the job here for Australia. Question whether they would be able to match the intensity of this Lithuanian side. I don't think there's any question they've done that. 4-point lead. There are just 18 seconds remaining. It's going to take 2 scores from Lithuania. Mitch Creek just makes no mistake from the foul line. 5-point lead and possession here for Australia. Really dramatic fourth quarter. Coming to a close, it is another foul. Grigonis is the man this time. Second foul from him.
Yeah, and I mentioned what good free throw shooting teams both these teams are, and Dellavedova shooting 80% in the tournament so far. You know, you have to, if you're Lithuania, you have to go for a steal. If not, you got to foul quickly.
It's only the second free throw missed by Australia in this game, 14 from 16. And they make this one, though. It's a 6-point lead, and it's a big, big ask.
Still a 2-possession game, even. Wow. Still a 2-possession game.
Here's Lekavicius, lays it up and in, and Australia will look to just run down the clock. There is a foul. Lekavicius getting that foul in quickly. Joe Ingles
might be getting his first points.
Extraordinary to say that. I mean, 8 assists and 5 rebounds, a tremendous all-round contribution.
Absolutely. I mean, defensively, yeah.
Just a very different performance to the other night.
He's been averaging 15 points so far in these 2 games before this. So, you know, for Australia actually to be in this situation up right now kind of shows you how good they are. And how many scorers they really do have. Because a person who, you know, has been scoring 15 points a game for them just got their first points with 8.6 seconds left.
The second one is significant. 7 points is the difference. 5 points, I should say. As shot goes up, it is missed. Time almost up. 3-point attempt. And that is that. Australia get the win. And Australia have the 100% record going into the second phase. Both teams make it through. Lithuania have more work to do in the second round. Australia closing in already on that quarterfinal spot. They're not there yet, but they've taken a big step here. 82-87. Australia win 5-5. Well, what a performance, what a game, and what a team. Well, both teams extraordinary over the last few days, but Australia really did lift it a gear, didn't they, over the last 40 minutes?
Yeah, you said it. I mean, offensively, they cooled off a little bit, but they still stayed with the same kind of defensive effort, and they were able to take Lithuania's runs and not let it affect them. They believed in themselves, and a big reason is Patty Mills. I mean, he was absolutely extraordinary, especially in that fourth quarter. His 23 points are a personal best for him at a FIBA World Cup, so it's kind of what you need to do when you want to win games. There you see the shooting percentage, a little bit down for both teams. Kind of to be expected. You know, they're playing against a lot better competition. 15 turnovers to just 6 for Lithuania, and 20 points off of turnovers. So for Australia to be able to turn the ball over, give Lithuania 20 points off of turnovers, and still win this game is a great sign. There you see the top scorers. Grigonis, I thought he was great for Lithuania, 19 points. And again, Patty Mills. Let's not forget the second man, Aron Baynes. Double-double, first of his career at the World Cup for the Boomers as well. So two players for Australia, you know, taking their game to a next level and getting career best while wearing the green and gold.
Yeah, it was almost a half and half, wasn't it, from Aron Baynes and Patty Mills. Patty Mills stepping up, that big three-pointer, you know, that seemed to seal it. I mean, there was still work to do, there was still time, and Lithuania did everything they could to try and get back in the game at that point, but it just felt like that moment. A huge three with Valanciunas towering over him, trying to block him. It really was pretty special. I must say, Australia, I mean, they were contenders going into this game for this tournament, and they've really, really put their names forward now.
Absolutely. You know, this was a different team, especially defensively. I thought they were absolutely exceptional. And defensive rebounding, they gave Lithuania nothing. You know, they came into this tournament with the eyes on the podium. Some teams come here saying, you know what, we want to qualify for the Olympics. No. Australia is here. I think they made a huge statement tonight, and like you said, they have 1 foot already into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, they will face Dominican Republic and France, who are still playing. Actually, they're only halfway through their game. France are way ahead, actually, at halftime, 43-21. So assuming that does play out that way, you'll have France and Australia with maximum points in that group. And we'll have Dominican Republic and Lithuania on 2 wins out of 3. And of course, 2 games to come. So realistically, for Lithuania, it's got to be 2 wins from 2. They've got to beat Dominican Republic and France. That's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. You know, we talked about in that group, the top 2 go on. So you have to at least have 3 wins. And that's going to be difficult when France is probably already going to have 2. So, like you said, they're going to have to beat 2. I think they're a very good team. I saw signs of frustration that we had not seen in the first 2 games. Do I think that they can go back and learn a lot from this game? Absolutely. So it'll be very interesting for both these teams moving on.
It certainly will. It's been a special night for the Australians. They have come to the party and delivered when it really, really mattered. Aron Baynes, Paddy Mills and company getting the job done here in Dongguan as the first group phase comes to an end. Canada beating Senegal earlier on today by 82 points to 60, and Lithuania beaten by Australia, 5-point game in the end, 82 to 87. It means Australia top the group, Lithuania in second, both of them through to phase 2, Senegal and Canada into classification. What a few days we've had here in Dongguan.
I still have to wait for him.